Welcome to the Small Business Made Simple podcast, brought to you by socialmediaandmarketing.com.au. Being in business is never easy, but it can be simple, or at least simpler. Join me, your host Jen Donovan, every week where we focus on marketing, social media, and working towards simplifying your business. You with me? Let's do this.
Gonna dream it big, 'cause someone out there listening. Everyone's got a voice to give, and it's time I heard you whistling, 'cause there's no point at all, in dreaming small.
Why, hey there, my fabulous listener. Welcome to episode 139 of the Small Business Made Simple podcast. Thank you, as always, for lending me your ears today. I know you have lots of choices out there, and I really do appreciate you making me one of them. If you're a first-time listener, then hey, super welcome. If you're a return listener, then hey, super welcome for you. I'm so pleased to have you here and to have you back. I'm, of course, the host, Jen Donovan, and it's my job via this podcast, social media, and just about everywhere else that I hang out to make your business life simpler. This episode is brought to you by my 5-step marketing plan, which basically deals with the who, what, where, how, and why of running a small business and growing it using strategic marketing. Do you want to know more? Well, get in touch and book a discovery call, or follow me on my social media to find out more in the coming weeks. Oh, and my 6-week marketing mastermind is open again, only for the second time this year. So if you're keen to get involved in that, then just head to my website, which is at socialmediaandmarketing.com.au, and click the Work With Me tab, and you will see my 6-week marketing mastermind program under that, with all the details, with all the answers to all your questions. I would love to see you there. There's only 8 spots, so you do have to be a little bit quick with that. But today on the podcast, we are myth busting. Just those words remind me of the countless hours I sat with my boys watching Mythbusters. Did you know that show? My kids loved that show. In fact, I'm pretty sure they still do love that show. It was very interesting to watch some of the myths they bust, for sure. But we are busting 5 much less labour-intensive myths. But you know what? Just as important for small businesses. So let's get into it. Myth number 1. Advertising and marketing are the same thing. I think my marketing hairs on the back of my neck just stood up. No. The answer is just no. Marketing and advertising are 2 very different things. Think of a cake. Advertising is a slice of that cake. Marketing is the whole cake. So marketing and advertising have the same goal: to get business and to get your business in front of more buyers. But they aren't the same thing, even though they're both trying to achieve the same goal. Advertising is simply a single strategy that falls underneath the umbrella of marketing. So in a nutshell, if you pay to serve an ad to your audience, you are advertising. And if you're using a much broader approach to reach your audience, you are marketing. And remember, marketing is everything. So if you are only advertising, then you are missing out and leaving a lot of money on the table. So make sure, have a look at your strategy and be really aware of what the difference between advertising and marketing is. Myth number 2. You need to have the gift of the gab to be good at sales. No, you don't. And frankly, these days, I think it might actually help you if you don't have the gift of the gab. Sales is so much more about listening and active listening with intent. It's not about knowing everything there is to know about a particular service or a particular product. It's about knowing everything you can about your customer or client, though, and how that product or service you're trying to sell them can solve their problem or their roadblocks or their challenges, or absolutely delight them. Sales is so much about asking quality questions and building trust and having clarity and tailoring and listening and building of relationships. Just talking at someone because you know everything and you just need to let them know how much you know will often cause the customer to start walking backwards and, of course, right out of your world. It's like above. If you're only doing advertising, then you're missing out on sales. So if all you're doing is talking, then you're missing out on sales because you're not listening. Sales is not hard. In fact, it should be simple, or at least simpler, if you learn to actively listen to the problems of your customers and actually solve those problems by creating the sale around it. All right, myth number 3, social media is free marketing. Oh dear, it's really not free. And this is the one that probably I have the biggest bugbear about, is when people, just advertise, I only do social media because it's free. And it's just like, well, it's not free. And social media shouldn't be the only marketing strategy you have. And you definitely shouldn't be on social media just because you think it's free. So yes, it might feel that way because there's no money actually coming out of your bank to pay Facebook or Instagram or any other platform, but it's definitely not free. How much are you worth an hour is the question you really need to ask yourself. If you gave up your business tomorrow and went to work for someone else, how much an hour would you need, or how much an hour do you think you deserve? $30 an hour? $50 an hour? $200 an hour? Well, whatever that figure is for you, that's what it's costing in your business. So if you spend 15 hours a week doing social media marketing or being on social media for your business, and your hourly rate is, say, $50 an hour, then each week your social media is technically costing you $750. So if we look at that from a strategic point of view, are you getting $750 worth of sales or leads from social media? No. Well, then perhaps we need to look at your strategy, your content, your value adding content, and possibly outsourcing to someone who does these things not only cheaper than you, but are better at it than you. Free in business is never free because time is time is the only resource we can't make more of. So please, if you are on social media, put a cost against it, even if it's just in a spreadsheet or in a ledger. It is costing you money because your time is worth money. So put a dollar figure on yourself and then work out whether or not social media is bringing in a return on that investment. Myth number 4. People are always looking for the cheapest price. Busted. Absolutely not. Some people, absolutely. There are people out there who will always buy on price, but the majority of people aren't like that. People will compare your price if you concentrate on price. So if you are price driven, then you will attract those people who are price driven, and they will be the one who will want it the cheapest. But really, this is where human-to-human marketing really comes in. The large majority of people want to get to know, like, and trust who they are buying from. They want a great experience from who they are buying from. Whether it's online or offline, you can still provide a great experience. And they want benefits over features, over price when it comes to your products and services. If the large majority of us purchased on price, then there'd be no small businesses, because a lot of small businesses can't compete with the big guys on price, so they have to compete in other ways, such as customer experience. And basically there'd be no BMW or Mercedes or Ferraris, because those companies wouldn't exist if the large majority of us were based on price buying. Look at the people who sell what you sell, but perhaps charge more for it. What do they offer that you don't? And I would actually say that it's more than likely a better experience, or they have more expertise, or they let the people know they have more expertise than what you do. So quite often our competitors aren't better at what they do. They are better at marketing what they do, and therefore like attracts like. People buy why you do it. They don't buy what you sell. I think Simon Sinek said that many years ago. People buy why you do what you do. They don't buy what it is that you sell. That's why people are so passionate about their businesses that do so well. People buy their why. So people who are really passionate about their businesses, they are more likely to do well because they project that onto their customers, and their customers and potential customers know their why. So what's your why? Do you know why you do what you do? Because if people are buying why you do it and you don't know why you do it, then perhaps that's one of the little cogs in your marketing wheel that you can actually fix. All right, last one, myth number 5. The way to make money is to have more things to sell. More choices equals more dollars. This is really so often not the case. And I have experienced this personally. So when I had my retail business, we started off in a small shop, and then we had 2 shops, and then we actually had one big shop. So we took 2 shops into one big shop. Now, our business as a turnover, I think from memory, was like 4 times as much or 5 times as much, because we had such a great location and, you know, we had so much choice for people. But my profit did not follow that. My profit was not 4 times or 5 times more. My turnover was, but my profit was not. So I had more things to sell, but I wasn't necessarily making more money. They say a confused buyer doesn't buy. Too many choices makes for a bad customer experience. That may or may not be true in your business, but the point I'm trying to make is if you are wanting to grow your business, looking to expand what it is that you sell may not necessarily be the best option. Think about the best restaurants in town. They probably have quite a small menu, maybe a page or 2, but definitely not 7 or 8 pages. A while ago, I went to an eatery. And they served their menu was like 101 Parmas to choose from, and my 3 kids absolutely love Parmas. But it was almost impossible to choose. I had 101 choices. I can't deal with that. It literally took me ages, and I think from memory, I actually gave up and asked my son or my husband, "Can you order for me? Because this is too hard for me. There are too many choices here." Some of the best cafes in my local town have really small menus. There might be 5 or 6 things that you can choose, but they do those things extremely well. And you love that the choice is so easy, and they change the menu often to keep things new and exciting as well. So rather than having a huge menu they never change, they have a small menu which they change often. Not to mention, I think it's a fabulous business decision as far as systems and processes go, absolutely for sure, because, you know, there's less moving parts to deal with if you keep what you sell in a niche. So if you make candles, the idea isn't that you keep making more and more fragrances, but the fact that, you know, if you want to become more profitable, what you need to do is get those people to come back over and over again to buy their favorites and refer their friends. That's a much better option than always trying to produce new product or get new people in. To become really profitable, you don't necessarily need more products. You need more repeat customers who will become raving fans, who will refer you to their friends and their family. So there you go. 5 marketing myths completely busted. To recap, advertising is marketing. No. You need the gift of the gab to be good at sales. No. Social media is free. No way. Your time is worth money. People always buy the cheapest the cheapest priced item. No, they don't. You know, people buy why you do what you do. So find your why and share that with other people. Like will attract like. Don't have a race to the bottom on price. Offering people lots of choices will make you more profit. Most cases, no, it won't. You just need to get better at a pricing strategy and, a repeat customer strategy rather than bringing on more and more products. So I'd love to know which one of those myths that we just busted resonated the most with you. If you head into the Like-Minded Business Owners group, I would love to hear, as usual, any shifts in your marketing or your business from listening to my dulcet tones every single week. And talking about that, of course, to find the Like-Minded Business Owners group, just go to Facebook and type in Like-Minded Business Owners group and join. Or if you're already a member, Tell me which one of these resonated with you the most. And of course, I don't know whether you've noticed, but I've been doing some really short, sharp podcasts the last few weeks. I hope you're enjoying them. If you haven't seen those, they're like 3 or 4 minutes long, and I'm just dropping them on a Monday. So I would love you to tune in to those, as well as my longer ones, which drop on a Thursday. I'll be doing a series of the short ones, so make sure you tune in twice a week for a little while anyway, not forever, just for the next little while. But that's it for episode 139. I hope you enjoyed this podcast episode, and if you did, please leave me a rating and a review. I would so appreciate you taking some time out of your day to do that, and maybe even share this episode with another superstar business owner who's doing that daily grind, who would love to hear about some marketing myths being busted also. Of course, massive love coming your way if you do either of those things. But I will be back next week for episode 140. But in the meantime, let's get social on social. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, and of course on LinkedIn. But whatever you do, remember, my small business peeps, as my opening song says, there is no point in dreaming small.
No time like the present. Tell it like you feel it, say it proud, be true, and let us see you for the star that you are. No point in dreaming small.
I would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land, the Yorta Yorta people, on which I record this podcast and conduct my business today, and pay my respects to their elders, past and present. I extend this respect to the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people here with us today as well.